Did the Lord say, "Let there be sound"? Can anybody hear my dumbass? Can anybody hear me? Can you hear me now? Can, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I don't know. I don't know if y'all. I don't even know if these jokes are even worth it because I don't know if y'all can hear me. This is mentally challenged. This is like I don't understand. Y'all hear me? Oh my god! Look at all the people that came too, and my dumb ass. This sound just bugged out of nowhere. I can hear you pound and clear. Okay. Well, what I was trying to say was, hello and welcome to my graveyard. I am your host of Eating the Cemetery Man from Salem, Mass. Always taking names and kicking candy ass, live in the color here with you on Grande's Graveyard. And before the 11-minute delay of this fucking thing, which now I don't even know how I'm supposed to edit all that out because, oh man, I feel like an idiot. But that is neither here nor there. Okay, so one quick thing. I don't know how good I sound now because I'm on a different audio setting. The audio setting I'm always on, it's fucked up, and that's why there's no sound coming out. That is the microphone I use, and I'm not on it now. So I don't know if I sound like shit. I'm nervous. I hope I don't sound too loud or too low or whatever, but we're gonna have to make do with that tonight because you like me better muted, Mr. Zetro. That is fucking cruel because I was running around like a chicken with his fucking head cut off for a good 10 minutes, going, "What the fuck is wrong with this?" So I don't know, man. This is just absolutely crazy. Matteo Appendino is here. Ciao, grande. We can hear you. Okay, cool, cool. I apologize. I fucking don't understand anymore. All of a sudden, my microphone doesn't want to work now. Never had a problem with it in the 2 years I've used this camera. So I don't know. But what I was trying to say that you probably couldn't hear was tonight on the graveyard, we are diving into some awesome rankings. Yes, ladies and gents, we will be ranking horror films from the year 1981. And I'm super excited tonight to discuss this particular topic because initially I was going to just do slasher films from any kind of era. And a lot of them had just the major franchises on it. And I was like, I mean, I've talked about Friday the 13th to death. I've talked about Halloween to death. I've talked about Elm Street to death, Chucky to death. I've talked about all of these to death. So I was like, I don't know if I want to just do straight up slashers because then I have to talk about each different franchise, and we all know that that's all been done to death. This particular show, I figured why not touch on the year 1981, one of the great years in horror history. Of course, it's noted as the year of the slasher, but there's so much more to it. There's three excellent werewolf films that came out in the year 1981 that we're going to get into. There's so many good psychological horror films. There were innovators like Sam Raimi, who came out with The Evil Dead, in my opinion, one of the great horror films of all time in the year 1981. It's funny, it's a year remembered for all the slashers that came out, but there are so many more great hidden gems along the way. And I figured there'd be no better time to just kind of come out here and rank them with y'all than here tonight on the show. So again, I apologize for the audio. I'm going to try to edit that part out of the show. I don't know what the fuck happened, but we will get right in. I'm going to screen share, so hold on to your fucking butts. We're going to screen share. Let's hope I don't lose my sound. Share my screen here. We're going to share it here. Share tab audio. Make sure that's checked off. We want to make sure that's checked off because it could end horribly wrong. Can you all still hear me? I hope so. We've got the list up here. Is everybody? Is this good, or should I go in the corner here? I don't know. Does anybody put Grande in the corner? I don't know. Nobody puts Baby in the corner. I guess I can go in the corner here. I guess this is fine. Or maybe I don't know. I don't know which one's better. Which one do y'all think? This is number six. This is number seven. For now, I guess we'll do number seven. I'm right under the fucking Hertz thing. I was six in 1981, bro. I was negative 15 in 1981. Uh, Darren Burrows is in the house. Darren, good brother. Hope all is well with you, man. Good to see your name on here. John Steele's in the house. John Steele, what's going on, good brother? I'm clicking these comments. They're slowly but surely loading, so I'm not sure, uh, uh, what's going on. But my internet and all this stuff has just been like running like dog shit. Mateo says 1981 equals Scanners, which I don't believe that's in. I don't believe that's on this list. Weirdly enough, which Scanners it should be. That's a great movie. Aiden Vavra says 1981 equals The Funhouse. Number seven. Okay, we're gonna stick with number seven. No problem. Grande kneel in the corner, face the wall, and okay, that's fine. I could do that. But yeah, no. So I figured this would be a fun show to do. We can get right underway with this. Of course, let me get this screen up. I'll try to X these ads out here before we get going. Of course, the tier list goes from not seen to F to D to C to B to A, all the way to the S tier. The S is the best of the best, and we've got our films down here. Um, of course, not every horror film that came out in the year 1981, but a damn good bunch of them. So we're gonna go one by one. We're gonna rank these sons of bitches. We'll go through your comments, no worries. And you know what? I'll tell you what. I'm gonna get the comments up on my phone, and I will be able to see them that way. This would probably be the easiest way to do it. So let me get the comments up on my phone. And all right, we are good to go. So I've got the comments here, and we will talk about our first film of the evening. These are mostly alphabetically arranged, so we're gonna go A all the way to fucking Z, baby. First up, An American Werewolf in London. Yes, in my opinion, the all-time great werewolf film. Just an incredible movie. John Landis's direction, the humor, the transformation scene, of course. I mean, just absolutely tremendous. Of course, Rick Baker's special makeup effects in this movie. That transformation scene has been talked about to death. And of course, who could forget the Creedence Clearwater Revival? I see the bad moon rising. This movie just has it all. It has it all. It has a great sense of humor. It has a great pace to it. It has great acting performances. Of course, the opening in the slaughtered lamb and the two friends sort of walking out of the pub and one of them gets bit, and it just the tension that John Landis is able to create. It's simply tremendous. It's really really good stuff. And I also love his friend keeps sort of popping up as the movie goes on, and sort of haunting him, so to speak, and you got to die, pal, and all this stuff. So I don't know. I really like An American Werewolf in London. In my opinion, it is the greatest werewolf film of all time. And I guess we're starting things off right here. It is an S tier, baby. An American Werewolf in London. I really, really love this one. Um, of course, let's get to some comments here. 1981. That because that's BC before Kara. LOL. I've never seen Scanners, but heard of it. Would you consider that more horror or sci-fi? I've heard debates about it. It's Cronenberg. It's certainly Cronenberg. I love it. I think it's a really good film. I could see both horror or sci-fi being put for that category for sure. Grant, I think your equipment needs a trip to the graveyard. You're damn right. My equipment needs a trip to the graveyard. My fucking equipment sucks. Saw this at the theater. The walk to the car was horrifying, dude. That is, I'm sure it was, man, because this movie is it's an all-time classic. Um, Aiden says, An American Werewolf in London is awesome, but my favorite werewolf film will always be Dog Soldiers. Okay, interesting choice. King the Gore's in the house. Gory Corey, what's going on, good brother? Solar Transgut says, Oh, American Werewolf in London is dope. My fourth favorite werewolf film. Okay, excellent, cool. What are the other three? People saying hi to each other. Yeah, ranking horror movies. Pudding. Yay. American Werewolf. Good memories from me on VHS TV in the early '80s. Dude, yeah, no, that's a great one. What happened to my comment? What happened to your comment, John Steele? Did I miss your comment? I'm looking, brother. Grande kneel in the corner. That corner, face the wall, and with a bag of rice under your knees. Oh shit! I saw that comment, John Steele. No worries. Howdy creeps, people talking. Okay, cool, cool. So on to the next film here. We've got a bunch of them, so I don't know how in depth I can go on all of them. But this is Lucio Fulci's The Black Cat. Now, this is a very lesser talked about film from Fulci's filmography, and it's funny because he has three films on this list. Of course, The Beyond, House by the Cemetery, and then this one that's really sort of lost in the shuffle. He made this in between the whole Gates of Hell trilogy, of course, right after City of the Living Dead in 1980. Now, this is, of course, the adaptation of the Edgar Allan Poe story that has been adapted more times than you could care to remember. Dario Argento has adapted it, Stuart Gordon has adapted it, and of course, here it was Lucio Fulci. I don't know how I feel about this one. This is one of those films to me that it's very middle of the road, and it really gets lost in the shuffle of Fulci's career because of when it came out. I mean, you had New York Ripper in '82. You had City Living Dead before this. I mean, it came out in one of the prime eras of Fulci's career, especially the horror part. And it's a movie that really people don't talk about very much. I think it's an okay film. I just don't think it's Fulci at his best. It's Fulci in his prime, weirdly enough, but I don't think it's Fulci at his best. For me, The Black Cat is probably like a C plus. I think it's a decent film. It's a watchable film, but it definitely is overshadowed by the other quality stuff that Fulci was turning out at that time. So moving on into, oh, okay, I'm sorry, we got comments. I'm sorry, guys, I'm trying to get used to this reading the comments off my phone. The Black Cat is very underrated. Fulci. Yeah, no, you know what, Darren? I've got to revisit The Black Cat, but I remember being sort of dull. It wasn't, I don't know, it just didn't have that oomph to it to me. Um, of course, 1981 had many horror sequels like Halloween 2, Friday the 13th Part 2, which introduced Jason as the main bad guy of the series. Absolutely, Slasher Fred, and we will get there, my friend. Trenchy says top 4 werewolf films: Ginger Snaps, Wolfman OG, The Beast Must Die, American Werewolf in London. Dude, excellent, excellent choices. Solid Creeper, haha, yeah, we're John. Argento's version of Black Cat's a C plus. Okay, and I'm right on the same page. I was lukewarm on Black Cat until I saw it again. You see, that's what happens, Darren. Sometimes I'll watch a film and I'll be like, and then I'll rewatch a film and I'm like, yo, what the fuck was I talking about? What was I thinking? And you just can forget things like that. Sadly, I probably haven't seen most of these movies. Well, no worries. You certainly will educate you, good brother. That's what we do on here. Midnight Offerings from '81. See, John Steele. This is why I love John Steele. That's one I've never even heard of, and I'm pretty sure it's not on this list. So, John Steele, if you recommend it, man, I will give it a look. But here's one I don't recommend from the year 1981. Holy shit. And I use this as the thumbnail because the poster is too funny to be believed. It is Blood Beach from 1981. Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water, you can't even get there. Yes, Blood Beach from 1981. Now, oh my God. This movie fucking sucks. This is basically a creature feature where we rarely see, if ever, the creature. Um, John Saxon is in this film as a cop. It is one of his least memorable performances as a cop. If you want to see John Saxon, in a good horror film, watch Tenebrae, watch Nightmare on Elm Street, watch Black Christmas, watch Cannibal Apocalypse. Don't watch Blood Beach because this is a bad one. But I can't lie, the poster art is absolutely hilarious. It is one of the funniest fucking poster arts of all time. I would love to get the original one sheet of this someday. It's sort of a one of those that I would like to get. Oh man, it's close to being an F. For now, I'm gonna say D minus. Blood Beach is a D minus. There's a scene where, oh, and my moderators, feel free to get rid of these trolls saying here girls want everyone, even you. That's fucked up. So please, my moderators, give them the fucking boot. Um, Oh my God, Jesus! This is there. You go. Thank you, King. Love this B movie cult film. Oh really? Okay, big Blood Beach guy. Okay. There's a scene where the monster like bites this guy's dick off, who's trying to like rape this girl, and it's like I don't know. It's just executed very poorly. Blood Beach is one of those films that desperately needed more money. I feel like they've used all their money on the poster, which I sort of like the poster. But moving on to the next film here, this is Bloody Birthday. This is a fucking weird one. So, Bloody Birthday, it basically features these 3 kids that were born, or 3 or 4 kids, I forget. They were born like during a lunar or solar eclipse, and like they start basically like years and years later on their birthday murdering parents and people, and it's it's sort of odd. This is a very odd film from 1981, and part of me thinks this is just came out the wrong year. Like if something like this came out now, I'd probably embrace it. I'd be like, oh, I want to embrace its weirdness. But Bloody Birthday, man, I don't know. This one I remember being a little bit forgettable. It has a batshit crazy finale, and I believe they planned a sequel, but it was one where I don't think this movie, made any money, unfortunately. So they unfortunately never made the sequel. And I don't know, this is one that I probably need to revisit. But Bloody Birthday, another probably like a C plus movie. C, maybe just a regular C, we'll say. Oh, Darren likes it. A Bloody Birthday, another underrated slasher for me. You know, Darren, I enjoy its weirdness, but it's one that it's like I don't know. I never go back and rewatch it. I remember watching it on Netflix probably 10 years ago. You know, and I was like, what the fuck? Like this is a weird film, but I don't know. Trenchy's a fan too. Bloody Birthday. Bloody Birthday is one of only few movies I just never rewatched. Yeah, no, I don't know if I ever rewatched it either. To be perfectly honest with you. But I really like it. Bloody Birthday, definitely an average movie. But here's one that I don't know if you consider straight up horror, but of course from the legendary Brian De Palma, John Travolta, Nancy Allen. This is Blowout. Yes, Blowout. Now, I would argue this might be Brian De Palma's greatest film, but I don't know how long I want to spend on it because I don't know if it's straight up horror. Like it has elements. It's certainly elements of horror, and it's a well directed film. I mean, De Palma probably at the height of his career. I mean, Carrie was 1977. Then, uh, oh Jesus, what was the next movie he did? It was like The Fear or The Rage, something that in 1978, The Fury, that was it from 1978. Another really good movie. Blowout, I think is an S tier. I really like this movie. I don't want to go too in depth on that one. That's one that I don't know how many people would consider that straight up horror. So I don't want to spend too much time. Swinging wrenches like Jeff Speakman, Perfect Weapon, handing out troll beatings. Ghost Keeper 81. I believe Ghost Keeper 81's on here. I think. Ghost Story is on here. No Ghost Keeper. Jeez, John Steele. Holy shit. You keep pulling out ones. Blowout is definitely an S. Blowout has slasher and giallo elements. Love it. Yeah, that's the thing. Like I was when I saw it on the list, I'm like, I love the film, but is it straight up horror? I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Mateo says Blowout is a great movie, better body double. Exactly. It is a great movie. I just don't know. Like I don't want to say, oh, it's straight up, it's exactly horror. That's the thing with some of the films I love, they're a little bit of everything. Like Dawn of the Dead isn't just a horror film. It's a drama, it's a comedy, it's an action film, it's a western in some ways. It's a biker film in some ways. Like it has all these elements. And I would say that Blowout is one of those films for me. Maybe not as grand as Dawn of the Dead, but certainly a great film in and of its own right. So Blowout to me is an S tier. Moving on to the next one. This is Burial Ground. Yes, Burial Ground. The thing I remember most about this movie, the zombies in it remind me of the zombies in Land of the Dead. And I don't know why that is, but they sort of do. And this one, it's a zombie film that really gets lesser talked about. I'm not sure why. I believe there's a 4K out of this now, and this is one I'd actually probably have to rewatch, because I haven't seen this in a long time. I would say like a lukewarm B for me. I think Burial Ground has some merit. I just don't remember the film that much. I have to. That's one I should definitely give a rewatch. Um, this next one here, though, I actually rewatched it not even a year ago. This is Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker. Ooh, yeah. AKA Night Warning for people. I believe in the United Kingdom it was called Night Warning. But here in the States, it was called Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker. And this is a really fucking good one. Um, I think that this movie is one of the most underrated video nasties out there. And this one actually just got a special edition Blu ray. Cool enough. It's got a lot of crazy shit in it, and it's got an incestuous relationship between, two family members. It's got some. It has a gay character in it. This is a very taboo film. It has a lot of different taboo themes to it, and I don't know. Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker is a super underrated, you know, video nasty in my opinion. It's one that gets very slept on. And I think more people need to see it. It's a very interesting film, has a lot of complex themes. I think people should definitely give this one a look. Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker, definitely an A for me. I like this movie. I recommend people pick up the Blu-ray because it's an underseen one for sure. Burial Ground is epic. Burial Ground, one of the funniest films I've ever seen. Cheers me up every time. Yeah, no, there's nothing like good comfort horror like that, man. Let's see. I love me some zombie films. Definitely need to give it a watch. The Other Hell. See, he keeps bringing out ones, man. I've never even heard of that. Peter Bark, Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker sounds like a nursery rhyme. Yeah, no, it sort of does, right? It sort of does. I don't know what it is about it, but up next, the first cannibal entry on the list. This is Cannibal Ferox, aka, in my opinion, one of the great titles in horror movie history. Make them die slowly. Yes, Cannibal Ferox, Make Them Die Slowly. Of course, Umberto Lenzi, this was him taking his dive into the cannibal genre because, of course, Diodato had made Cannibal Holocaust, and then a couple years before that, Sergio Martino had dipped his, toe into the lake of cannibal films, with Mountain of the Cannibal God, which is one I really like. Cannibal Ferox is, to me, it's a good film. It's a solid film, but it's one of those where I watch it and I'm like, this isn't Cannibal Holocaust. And I know it's probably unfair to compare the two. Like, it's funny, The Howling and American Werewolf in London, they get compared a lot. For me, these two films get compared a lot too. Like Cannibal Ferox, a lot of people say, oh, it tries to up the ante, if you will, the violence, the gore, stuff like that. But it's still a good movie on its own merit. That's what I say with The Howling too. The Howling isn't as good as American Werewolf in London, but Cannibal Ferox is a good movie in and of its own right. It's a good cannibal film. I always remember Giovanni Lombardo Radici getting his dick chopped off and, snorting cocaine off the lady's yits and the lady being hung by the hooks by her yits. I mean, horrifying stuff. In my opinion, a very damn good cannibal film. And it was cool to see Umberto Lenzi try to make a movie like this, especially at the peak of the cannibal film. Cannibal Ferox would be a high B plus to me, or even an A minus. For now, we're going to say B plus for Cannibal Ferox. I enjoy that film. Let's see, Mama, Mama, Mama. Oh, haha! I thought the name sounded familiar. Ferox not as good as Holocaust. Big, awesome, nonetheless. I agree with that completely, Darren. It's not Holocaust, but it's still a damn good movie. And I feel the same way about The Howling. I remember seeing the big box of Make Them Die Slowly at the video store as a kid. Dude, that's one of the best titles for any movie. It's so much. Cannibal Ferox, it's just to get cannibal in the title. Like, let's be honest, that's how they wanted to sell it. But Make Them Die So you hear that, you just want to watch that movie no matter what it is. It just sounds amazing. It is a fucked up movie, dude. There's castration, there's animal killings, there's all the things that are in Cannibal Holocaust. There's just that message isn't as prevalent of, we are our own worst enemies and we are evil and things like that. Those themes are not as in Cannibal Ferox. But it does have some psychology, and it has, in my opinion, a great scene where the two women are trapped in a well. Well, not a well. I don't know if it's a well, but they're basically being held captive, and they start singing to sort of make the time go by and try to forget the horrible situation they're in. And that's something that Stanley Kubrick used throughout his career, whether it be Full Metal Jacket, singing the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse song, In a World of Hell. There is a light. Cannibal Ferox does that here, and these two women sing and try to forget the bad times. It's a well done horror film, in my opinion. A damn good cannibal movie. A good one to watch with friends. Fear No Evil, 1981. John Steele, can you have made this list? See, okay, for people wondering, I didn't make this list. This is a list that's on Tiermaker. So I didn't make this list. I didn't forget anything. This was the only 1981 horror list. So whatever is forgotten was not forgotten by me, I swear. But granted, most of the ones John Steele has said, I don't even know. So I can't lie. A little bit of TV horror now. Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. Oh yeah, baby. Good brother Bubba. This is one of my favorite TV horror films of all time. It's right up there with Trilogy of Terror, Trilogy of Terror 2. This is a great movie, of course, about this man who is hunted down after supposedly killing a child, and he seeks his vengeance years and years later on the four men that killed him. And this is, in my opinion, atmospheric revenge horror done right. And this is a TV film. So you would think right off the bat, you'd think, oh, it sounds like a slasher movie. Is there a high body count? No. Is there a lot of gore? No. This is a TV film. You have to keep that in mind. So in a year of slasher movies, in a year of Tom Savini's and Rob Bottin's and Rick Baker's doing these amazing special makeup effects, The Dark Knight of the Scarecrow is not that type of film. It's not going to deliver in the gore department. Where it delivers is the psychology department and the atmosphere department and the story and the acting performance. I believe. I think the lead guy, the acting performance is just tremendous. And this is a scary film. Good Brother Bubba, this is a scary ass film in my opinion. I think Dark Knight of the Scarecrow is criminally fucking underrated. Man, do I give it the S? I'm on the borderline. It's either an A or an S. I don't know. You know what? I'm doing it. Dark Knight of the Scarecrow's an S. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna for now. We can debate these later, but in my opinion, I think it's a damn good film. Um, my moderators, these people are back. Please block them. Message deleted. Okay, thank you, AJ. I appreciate it. Mateo says best TV horror movie, It 1990. Dude, fantastic choice. I love that film. I remember Dark Knight as a kid, scared the shit out of me, made me cry too. Felt bad for Bubba. Dude, we all feel bad for Bubba. That's I think one of the great horror movies of the 1980s. And it's funny because like when you talk TV movies, TV horror movies, you think the 70s. There's so many good TV horror movies in the 1970s. Crawl Space, not the Klaus Kinski one. Bad Ronald, another one that I've championed on this channel. I adore Bad Ronald. Um, 1970s had so many great TV horror films. But to me, Dark Knight of the Scarecrow is the standout of 1981 TV horror films. It's just a damn good film, in my humble opinion. Dead and Buried. Ooh yeah. Now this is sort of a classic in my opinion. I really love this film. Of course, about this small town and people come in, they go missing. We don't really know what's going on off the bat, but this is, I think, a fantastic little movie. I really like Dead and Buried. I believe this also just got a 4K, I believe, from Blue Underground. Blue Underground, in my opinion, does some of the best horror movie transfers out there. I really like Dead and Buried. I think Dead and Buried is going to have to be the second straight S tier, in my humble opinion, because this is a horror movie done right. It's different, it's unique, it's very well directed. Once again, a tremendous atmosphere, just like Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. The story is unique enough. I'm a pretty big fan of Dead and Buried. I've got to pick up that 4K because that's one that I truly, really enjoy. Slasher Fred is. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed. Red Rusty's in the house. Sub Grande, Bad Ronald's a masterpiece, dude. I adore Bad Ronald. Where is there a Blu-ray of that? I feel like you would know, Red Rusty. I'm not sure because if there is, I gotta my dumbass gotta pick that up. Let's see. Dark Knight of the Scarecrow starred the late Larry Drake, who played a lot of villainous, and one of my favorites, playing the homicidal Chris Kringle in Tales from the Crypt. Yes, of course. I adore that. I actually talked about that on the show in December. Um, just grabbed Dead and Buried 4K, seen it on DVD once. I should check it out this weekend. Dude, totally do. And I'm sure the transfer is going to be tremendous. The Blu-ray of Bad Ronald is shockingly amazing. Dude, there is a Blu-ray. Okay, I'm going to have to pick that up. Okay, I totally have to pick that up. And All Through the House. Yes, that's right, Slasher Fred. I talked about that actually in December. I did 4 episodes of Christmas horror, and I adore that episode. It's fantastic. A Wes Craven joint. Holy shit. 1981's Deadly Blessing. And let's face it, Sydney, your mother was no Sharon Stone. Sharon Stone shows up randomly in this film. And from what I've heard, she was an absolute fucking bitch on the set of this. She made them defang the spider that was going to crawl on her face because she's a fucking bitch. And of course, the spider died because of that. This is like Wes Craven attempting a folk horror film, but it's not straight up folk horror. It's not, Wicker Man. It's not Blood on Satan's Claw. It's has the elements of folk horror. Of course, Ernest Borgnine is in this movie, a veteran actor, Oscar winner. This movie, to me, it suffers from really being caught in the middle of Craven's prime. It's another one of like Fulci's the Black Cat. Before this, he made Last House on the Left and The Hills Have Eyes, and then after this, A Nightmare on Elm Street. But this movie sort of caught in the middle awkwardly. And I know he had many disputes about how to end this movie. It has a very batshit crazy ending if you've seen the film. But this one, it starts off okay enough, but to me, it has an identity crisis. I think this was Wes Craven battling the producers over which and what kind of movie that this should have been. Deadly Blessing, to me, man, it is an average film at best. To me, it's a C. It is not a classic Wes Craven, not the worst Wes Craven movie, but one that truly is, sort of an outlier in his career. A film that I never go back and rewatch. I've had the DVD for years, and I've watched the movie maybe twice. What I will say, what is notable, there is a shot of a girl sitting in a bathtub, and a snake pops out between her legs. Of course, Wes Craven would go on to rip off himself in A Nightmare on Elm Street with the classic, the glove coming out of the water and going for, of course, Heather Langenkamp. So interesting. He took some of the elements he did with this film. To me, it's an experimental film and a film that leaves a lot to be desired. And not a great film, very average. Um, okay, so let me see. Dead and Buried starred Robert Englund, also has a character named Freddy. Okay, Deadly Blessing was traumatizing. It was so good. Okay, we got a big fan of it. Deadly Blessing needs a rewatch. As a huge fan of Craven's work, I still need to watch that film. It's very average, Aiden. You can skip it largely. Oh, I've never heard of Deadly Blessing. We'll have to add that to the list. It was a great with a shocking twist ending. Dude, that twist ending, man. When you see that, you're like, what the fuck? How is that connected to any of the rest of this? It's so out of place. Um, let's see. Walked away for a minute. Did you mention Happy Birthday to Me? I don't feel like people ever talk about it. We're doing alphabetical, Miss C, and we are only on D. So trust me, we will get there. Deadly Blessing has a scene that he would later use in Nightmare. Yes, exactly. I just said that. Why would Stone put such an asshole to Craven? What's weird is she was being an asshole before she was even a star. Like Sharon Stone was nobody at this time, man. So I don't know what her problem is. This next one, Demonoid, I'll be honest with you all, I have never seen this. So this is going to stay in this column of not seen. I believe there's only 5 on this list that I haven't seen. So that is the first one, unfortunately. I apologize, ladies and gents, but I did not see and have never even honestly heard of a Demonoid. I've heard of Inseminoid, which we'll get there because that's a piece of shit. Uh, Coming up next, though, Don't Go in the Woods. Now, this is your classic so bad it's good slasher movie. And let's face it, 1981 had more slasher movies than any other year, any other single year. I believe somebody, if you did the math, you basically had a slasher film coming out every fucking weekend, and it's absolutely bizarre. And there are some that don't make this list, like Scream from 1981, that's a piece of shit. There's one that is on here, Home Sweet Home, which I'm next to positive was 1980, but we'll get there as well. Don't Go in the Woods Alone. This is your classic so bad it's good one. It's not to be taken seriously. It's very fucking fun. I don't know. There's something about Don't Go in the Woods Alone that I really, really like. It just has that humor to it, that sort of B movie element. The craziest score, like almost like a rap score before rap was even a thing. Like Don't Go in the Woods Alone, man. Very weird film. But I'm gonna say a B to B plus for me. Don't Go in the Woods Alone. It's a fun enough B movie for me. Let's see. Just sold that film literally. Wow. Where would you put Creepshow 3? Creepshow 3 would be under my asshole, and then I would fucking shit. That's where Creepshow 3 would be. Thanksgiving theme. That's Home Sweet Home. Yes, that's a bunch of people sitting in a fucking house. We'll get there. This movie, holy shit. I gotta collect myself for this movie. Another video nasty on the list. Don't Go Near the Park. Yes, Don't Go Near the Park from 1981. This is one of the weirdest plots in the history of cinema. It has to be one of the weirdest plots in the history of cinema. And it is easily the worst film with Don't in it on the entire Video Nasties list. I mean, of course, you have Don't Go in the House, which I love. You have, geez, Don't Look in the Basement. But Don't Go Near the Park is one of the worst horror films on this list, of this 1981 list. This is a really weird film of this curse that lasts for years and years and years, and this guy basically has to have a child and then sacrifice his child when they turn 16. The woman he knocks up to have the kid is none other than Linnea fucking Quigley, who looks super young in this film, too young in this film to be having any fucking children. Um, this thing goes batshit crazy towards the end. These motherfuckers start shooting laser beams from their fucking eyeballs. I'm not even kidding you. That happens in this film. These motherfuckers start shooting lasers out of their eyes, and it is as stupid and horrible as you'd imagine. Don't Go Near the Park. I am thankful. I'm pretty sure this doesn't have a Blu-ray, nor should it ever get a fucking Blu-ray. One of the worst, definitely up there, one of the worst video nasties of all time. For me, this is going to be the first F of the bunch. I think Don't Go Near the Park is a pretty bad piece of shit. I know I've heard people say, it's so bad it's good, so then maybe you go in the D category. But for me, it's a failure. I think Don't Go Near the Park is a failure. Let's see. Student Bodies, I think. Yep, Student Bodies is on here, John Steele. Monster Club is on here, John Steele. I saw Don't Go Near the Park and never gone back. You listened. You didn't go near the park again, Darren. uh, let's see. Oh, I love Don't Look in the Basement's awesome. Really good movie. Edgar Wright needs to make that Don't film already. The trailer. Oh man, I love that trailer. That's the best Grindhouse trailer. Um, Shooting lasers like, dude, I shit you not, the villains in this movie start shooting fucking laser beams out of their freaking heads at the end of this movie. Absolutely bizarre. If you have ever seen Grindhouse, there's a fake trailer. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, absolutely. I love that trailer, man. Yay, laser eye pudding. Yay, put it in your mouth. Well, I don't know. You want to put that in your mouth. Another one Grande likely hasn't heard. Kiss Daddy Goodbye, dude. John Steele, what do you know? Every movie I've seen and not seen. I don't know, man. But coming up next, to me, one of the all-time great horror films, and arguably the best horror film of the year 1981, and that is Sam Raimi's The Evil Dead, and a film that I think defines the horror genre, and it defines everything that the horror genre I wish could be again. Um, it's a filmmaker, an up-and-coming filmmaker in Sam Raimi, going against the grain. Slashers are selling. Slashers are selling. I'm not making a slasher. I'm going to make an atmospheric, innovative horror film. I'm going to make the camera a character in this movie because I don't have any money. I'm going to make Bruce Campbell's career. I'm going to use all of these creative ideas like filling up a light bulb with blood and, claymation and all of the, beautiful movie magic that comes along with the original Evil Dead. To me, it's one of the great horror films of all time, and in my humble opinion, is an easy, no question S. It has to be in conversation for the best horror film of all time, and it definitely has to be one of the best of 1981. I adore The Evil Dead. I've done an episode discussing all of the films. I adore that film, and I think Sam Raimi was just the right guy at the right time. In my opinion, it was really the movie that the genre needed at the time. Something different, but something so innovative, creative, and damn well effective. And that's what people, I think, need with the genre right now. I love Evil Dead. To me, an easy S tier. Aiden says Evil Dead is an S. Evil Dead remake is amazing too. Okay. Evil Dead never gonna make it. Dot dot dot. What do you mean, AJ? What do you mean? Evil Dead is a classic, Slasher Fred. Darren Burrows, Evil Dead, absolutely groundbreaking classic. I agree with you wholeheartedly, Darren. I love that film. I do think Evil Dead 2 is better than the first. I love Evil Dead 2. Evil Dead 2 is fantastic as well. I love the whole trilogy. S is a yes. Evil Dead 2 will always be my fave, and the original and Army of Darkness are pretty darn awesome. I used to say Evil Dead 2 is my favorite, but I think about the original film and the time and what it did for the genre. Um, I think it's got to be my favorite of the three because it's the most horror of all of them. It's the most straight up horror film of all of them. And I liken that back to, Alien versus Aliens or Terminator versus Terminator 2. Halloween versus Halloween 2. There's a lot of these sequels that tone up things. But in reality, the original film, to me, is the best. I love the Evil Dead one, but I love the second one too. If you ever watch Are You Afraid of the Dark episode, Frozen Ghost plays homage to Evil Dead with the POV camera work. That's really cool, Slasher Fed. I've not seen that, so I'll have to give that a watch. Um, Coming up next, though, another nasty. This is Clint fucking Howard, ladies and gentlemen. This is Evil Speak. Yes. Anybody got some black magic? You got a black magic computer? Of course, this is telling the classic tale of the horrors of bullying. And Clint Howard, he goes to this school. I don't know if people realize this because the last time I watched it, I realized it. Donna's dad from That 70s Show is like the lead bully in this. With fucking, of course, not the same afro hair, but it's just funny to see him in this movie. Clint Howard's getting made fun of, and he uses this black magic computer, and he basically starts making some things happen. Of course, there's a scene in this with these wild, rabid pigs that is just absolutely fantastic. I love how this film is directed. To me, a very underrated video nasty, and it gives a great performance from Clint Howard. To me, discussing the horrors of bullying and the creativity of using something like black magic to your advantage in a horror film. How many people do that effectively, and especially merging it with bullying. To me, Evil Speak is an A. I think Evil Speak is a damn good nasty. One that people need to rewatch more, in my humble opinion. Let's see. Uh, just sold that recently too. Bull from Night Court. Yes, I'm one of the very few that like Evil Dead. Puts me to sleep every time I try to watch it. Really? Wow. Oh, wow. Miss C, I hear you. I don't know. For me, it's one of the great films of the genre. But hey man, I've heard people say Halloween's boring, so I don't know. I just don't know sometimes with taste and stuff like that. But let me ask, do you like Evil Dead 2? Is Evil Dead 2 is the ramped up pacing and the gore and the violence, all that stuff being dialed up? Does that keep you awake and keep you watching? Maybe that's a thing. Maybe it's a disconnect. But to me, the original Evil Dead, it's all about building that tension, and they do. And it was the woods themselves. They're alive, Ashley. Just horror done right, in my opinion. One of the great films of all time. I can never see Clint Howard without seeing him as a little midget alien in the original Star Trek episode. Dude, that's funny you say that. I remember him on The Odd Couple. There's an episode where I believe Oscar has to take a kid in and like watch him for a week. And of course, the kid is Clint Howard, and it was just so cool to see him. I love Clint Howard, a big fan. So up next, though, oh baby, we got my gal Jennifer Jason Lee, baby. Let me tell you something, JJL, baby, Jennifer Jason Lee, baby. I'm on about it all night long, if you will, Cody. Eyes of a Stranger. This is a fantastic film. I had not seen this for the longest time until good brother Don Nice, who's not here tonight. We talked about this, and he was telling me, "You've never seen this? How have you never seen this?" I was like, "Dude, I just haven't." And I went out because he recommended it, and man, this thing is a fucking banger. Eyes of a Stranger is phenomenal. If you've not seen this, I highly recommend it. It is an easy A for me. Easy fucking A. This thing is tremendous. I highly recommend it. I don't want to give too much away on it because it's one of those like I was glad I went in blind to it, so I would like other people to go in blind to it. Next one up, to be honest, I don't even know what this says. I just see the word evil and there's words above it. So that's going to go under not seen because I don't know what the fuck that movie is. But next up for real, this is Final Exam. John Steele, John Steele, if you're watching, don't get mad at me. Please don't get mad at me because you're a dear friend. This movie, in my opinion, this is a bad slasher film. I rewatched this maybe a month ago. This is a fucking bad slasher film, in my opinion. This is like one of the worst Halloween ripoffs, I would say. This is like these kids on a college campus, and the killer just fucking shows up, and there's nothing to this movie. There's not a good kill. There's randomly like a fake school shooting in this. Like, what the fuck? Like, there's no real gore. There's no real violence. There's no real oomph. Like, to me, it feels almost like a shitty, like fucking Animal House ripoff for a while. I don't know. Like, I don't care for this film. Final Exam, you get an F on the Final Exam, buddy. I'm sorry, and I'm sorry. I know there are some people that consider that a lost classic. I'm not one of them. I think it's a pretty bad film. Only seen the original and the remake. Miss C, I highly recommend you watch Evil Dead 2. Don't think I know of a Bass movie Jennifer made. She's a phenomenal actress, dude, and she was gorgeous. Oh my god, absolutely gorgeous. Eyes of the Stranger is very Hitchcockian. Yes, it is. It is. That's a really damn good movie. More people need to see that. Final Exam, the attempt of making a rated G slasher? Yeah, rated G for fucking garbage. I love Final Exam. Okay, Darren likes it, so okay, we got some contrasting opinions. John Steele, LOL, could have been a TV movie. Yeah, no, I feel like you told me once, you were like, I love Final Exam, and I had no idea how to break it to you. I was like, yo, I hope John Steele doesn't get mad at me. Final Exam has a nice premise, but it's long and nothing happens. I agree, Ben Grimm, and welcome to the graveyard, my friend. Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm not a fan of Final Exam. To me, it's a slasher done wrong. Um, Up next, one of the heavyweights, one of the absolute heavyweights of the horror genre. The body count continues, of course. Friday the 13th, Part 2. Do I have to waste any time? Do I have to waste any time? It's one of the great horror sequels of all time. Friday the 13th Part 2 is just a layup S tier for me. Amy Steele giving one of the great Final Girl performances. Steve Miner in his directorial debut. Think about that. Think about the weight that was on his shoulders. Making a sequel to the original Friday the 13th and making one as effective as, this one. I think the Friday Thirteenth Part Two is just one of the great horror movies of the 1980s, and I think that it's one of the best slasher movie sequels out there. I know a lot of people that'll tell you it's their favorite, and it's up there. It's got to be up there. It's one of the best Friday Thirteenth movies. To me, it's a damn good sequel. I always remember the ending where Amy Steele puts on Mrs. Voorhees' sweater and it's all done, Jason. It's all done and mommy is pleased. And I just remember every time watching as a kid just getting goosebumps and being like, this is why I love horror, tricking the antagonist into thinking you're his dead mother and, the wheelchair kill and muffins and jumping through the window. Friday the 13th Part 2 is an all time classic. To me, deserving of all the praise that it gets. An easy S tier for me. Full Moon High. That's the three, one of the fucking five that I have not seen. So Full Moon High, I've never even heard of it, to be honest. Um, uh, Friday 13th Part 2, my favorite of the series. Amy Steele, got a lot of love for Amy. John Steele says, you and I both don't like Scream. Well, Scream, that's not on here either, but man, that's 1981 Scream is a piece of shit. I completely agree with you on Final Exam, Ron. Yeah, no, I agree, Missy. That's a piece of shit movie. Friday 13th Part 2, my first horror movie I ever saw, my favorite Friday movie. Awesome, awesome, very cool one. I actually met Amy Steele and Steve Dash. Both of them very nice. Amy has a cool last name. Oh, I would agree, Mr. Steele. I don't know if you're related. The original Scream and sequel pays homage to Friday the 13th 1 and 2. Yeah, no, sure it does. Especially part 1. The Burning is number 1 on my list. The Burning, we have not got to The Burning yet, but that's definitely an S tier. It's a spoiler. Full Moon High was more of a comedy to me. Yeah, see, I didn't make this list, so these outliers, these three on the bottom here, those are not mine, so I can't really say. But this next one, man, this next one, this is some high level stuff. In my opinion, it's Toby Hooper's second best film of all time. Life Force is a close third, but I think The Funhouse is a tremendous horror film. Of course, me and Don did a commentary of this, a feature length commentary of this one. I adore this film. It's basically these kids, they go to a carnival and they come across this, let's say, this guy in a Frankenstein mask, this guy, quote unquote, and he gets a hand job from a gypsy, jizzes all over her too quickly, kills her, and then, from there on the thing plays out. But this is a tremendous film for Toby Hooper, in my opinion, because he shot this on Panavision, and he used very thick glass, and just the amount of colors and the carnival atmosphere and environment and the real oddities like the two-headed cow and the guy playing the barker, playing three different barkers and making them all feel so different. To me, the Funhouse is one of the most underrated of 1981, and for me, and I know a lot of people probably say I'm overrating this. This is probably an S for me. I love the Funhouse. I think the Funhouse is a damn good movie. I could see somebody saying A, but I also heard people say it's horrible. I won't say names, but there's a very popular horror YouTube channel that hates this movie. And I was like, man, like, geez, if you don't like the Funhouse, I don't know. I'd love to know why. Let's see. The Funhouse top three. I'm sorry, I missed Trenchy's comment. Yeah, Friday 2 decided Freddy versus Jason is the first Friday 13th movie. Oh, that's cool. Funhouse top three slasher for me behind The Burning and My Bloody Valentine. Dude, all three of those are going to be S's. Spoiler alert. Full Moon has a appearance by the late great Bob Saget. May he rest in peace too. I actually would like to see that now because I love Bob Saget. Um, I adore the Funhouse, as do I. Life Force, TCM, Funhouse, top three Hooper films, completely. Those are great films. I want the Bengals to win the Super Bowl last Sunday night, but they lost to the Rams. Yeah, no, it happens, man. Funhouse was a lot of fun. LOL, I agree. Play on words there. There's nothing wrong with jizzing too quickly. Dude, you can't be jizzing on a gypsy too quickly, especially if you paid as much as that fucking mongoloid paid, all right? You better best be fucking holding on to your fucking jizz. If you jizz on a gypsy, you're gonna die. Let's just be honest. Dawn of the Mummy, John Steele. I've seen that one, and it's a piece of shit, and it's not on here. So Dawn of the Mummy is not on here, but that's a piece of shit movie. The killer from the Funhouse reminds me of the Unmasked Jason in Friday Part Two. Yes, yes and no. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever made that connection. To me, the beauty of this too is it was a universal horror film and paying homage with Frankenstein and I don't know. I sort of love the Funhouse. I think it's a tremendous film, one of Hooper's best. To me, his second best movie. Funhouse is bloody cool. Hell yeah. LOL. Friday 13 Part 2 kicks ass. Dude, absolutely an S tier for me. Um, Coming up next, though, a little bit of space horror. Yes, Galaxy of Terror. This one, of course, it has Sid Haig in it, non-speaking role for Sid Haig. It has Robert Englund in it. It has a pretty decent enough cast. This is your classic low-budget B Roger Corman film. Nothing too extravagant to run home about here, but one that I think is passable. It has moments of good horror psychology. The whole idea is these people, they go to another planet and what they encounter on the planet is their fears. Now, with the proper money and budget, this thing could have been great. But we're talking about Roger Corman. We're talking about a guy that, elongates his films with the credits by playing them slower. That guy, he could squeeze every little bit out of whatever nickel he had. And Galaxy of Terror, to me, it is a movie that would have been benefited more for having a little bit more money. But in my opinion, it's nothing embarrassing. To me, Galaxy of Terror is a damn passable horror film. It's just nothing extravagant. To me, it's a perfect C horror film. There's elements and psychology of horror there, but it's not executed because of the budget. So I can't bash the film for that. That's just my opinion. Let's see. I just don't want to miss comments here. I'm sorry. Reading them off my phone is hard, and there's also people trolling. Message deleted. But Brit, are you here? Brit, how the hell are you? It says British Knights deleted the message. Thank you, Brit. I appreciate it. I didn't see your name before. Oh, thanks. I see you. What's up, dudes? Brit, welcome to the graveyard. Okay, always watch the original My Bloody Valentine on Valentine's Day. Great pick. That's the one with Erin Moran. Yes, I believe it is. There's a good cast. It's just it suffers a slight bit from a lack of budget. Galaxy Terror is one of the Alien ripoffs. Yes, but I would say it's more of a psychological horror than alien horror. Like there is an alien in it, but it's not an alien ripoff. We'll get to the alien ripoff, which is in Seminoid, which is a fucking piece of shit. Um, but next up, it's Ghost Story. Ghost Story is more of a throwback to what I wouldn't say it's like a Hammer horror throwback, but it's more of an old school slow burn horror film. You have some good veteran actors in here. This one though, I remember just having some pacing issues, and it is a slow burn. That is the idea, the goal here. But to this, for me, this is one of those. It's not that memorable. It's nothing to run home about. But it's not bad either. So to me, Ghost Story, it's a perfect C, just another C, average film. We got people saying hello to Brit. Frightmare. Frightmare's not on here, but I have seen that. Another one I'm not a fan of. My favorite scene in Halloween 2 is Michael Myers killed that girl in the hot tub. Bro, I love Halloween 2. We're getting there. That's the next one after this. I've never seen Galaxy, but I've heard insect sexually assaults a woman in it. Um, Yes, but in Seminoid that happens as well, and it's like the most boring letdown, like alien molestation scene ever, if that makes any sense. I don't have a wrench, but I'm reporting on my end when I see trolls. Thank you, I appreciate that. OMG, Ghost Story is amazing to me. Starred Borg Queen. Yeah, no, I would say Ghost Story was one. I've only seen it once, so maybe I need to revisit. But for me, it was an average horror film. Just had some pacing problems. Up next, another slasher film. This is Graduation Day. Yes, Graduation Day. Now, this is a weird slasher film. This one, it opens up very weird. I remember they're like at a track meeting, and the person runs and has a heart attack. And then one by one, people are being picked off on the track team, and like they do this, they get crossed off, they get X'd off with lipstick. Okay, whatever. It's okay. I don't know about this one. To me, if this one was given to a better director, this would be a great slasher movie because the idea is fantastic. But also, you're sort of wondering for a while, well, what's the killer's motive really? Because if this person died via heart attack, that's an accident, right? So is there really, a reason for there to be a killer? Of course, we learn more as the thing goes on, but to me, it's one of those movies that it's sort of poorly directed. This movie needed a better filmmaker behind the camera, and I think that Graduation Day would stand out. This is definitely one of the ones that gets lost in the shuffle when it comes to slasher movies from the year 1981. Graduation Day to me, it's probably like a D plus. Graduation Day is like a D plus to me. It's to me, it has potential, but it doesn't capture a lot of that, in my opinion. Um, let's see. I got Halloween Kills on DVD last month. It's bloody amazing. Cool for you. Graduation Day has an appearance by Vanna White. Oh, cool. She's not turning letters here either. Graduation did really well at the box office. Not great, but it's fun. Honestly, that's actually surprising that Graduation Day did good at the box office to me. Graduation Day is a decent B grade popcorn slasher. Yeah, like a C or a D. For me, it's a D because I remember feeling like the kills in the movie weren't that much. Like there's a javelin, like a vault scene, which I thought was poorly done. Like I thought in the hands of a good director and with good special makeup effects, Graduation Day would have been so much better. Maybe it was one of those where it's not that bad, but I wanted it to be that much better. So it's one of those where I felt like it had the pieces, it just didn't execute. Whereas Galaxy of Terror, I can see why it didn't execute as well. I don't know how to explain it, but that's sort of what I mean. Halloween 2, another S tier. To me, the best of the Halloween films. And I know people probably be like, "Oh, you're contradicting what you said about Evil Dead, being better than Evil Dead 2." But to me, Halloween 2 is one of the great horror movies of all time. Mr. Sandman, Jamie Lee Curtis, Donald Pleasance, the needle to the eye kill, Amazing Grace, come sit on my face, don't make me cry, I need your pie. I love it. I just love it. I love Halloween 2. I've talked enough about Halloween 2 on this channel. We could largely skip it. Graduation Day. Let's see. I like Graduating Day, and I was surprised on who the real killer was. I was too. I was sort of baffled by the reveal at the end, James. But I don't know. I don't want to spoil it for people. Um, Happy Birthday to Me. Now this is one. I don't know how much I can talk about the movie as much as I can talk about. I remember back in the day I had the DVD of this, and the DVD of this had the wrong music. Like they changed out all the music in this film. And I remember this is one of the first movies I ever went to like the internet to try to find, and I bought a Spanish-made DVD of it because it had the proper music in the film. And I remember I was so angry. Um, I don't know. I just remember being angry that I saw this movie and all the music was changed and it pissed me off. And I was like, I tracked this thing down on eBay or something and I found it with the correct music. And to me, Happy Birthday to Me is a decent enough slasher movie. Has a wild ending. It definitely it has some twists and turns along the way. Again, another one I don't really want to spoil. But one I think of the birthday horror films in the year 1981, Happy Birthday to Me is the better of the two. To me, a solid B plus. Happy Birthday to Me. Let's see. Halloween 2, the Forever sequel. Not that shit they've tried. Exactly. You can't. They've been trying since 1981 to make a better Halloween movie than Halloween 2, and they've yet to fucking do it. Let's see. Yes, I'm so glad you said that, Grande. I'm not a huge fan of the OG Halloween. I love the OG Halloween. I just think the second one's the best. Saw Happy Birthday at the show. Oh, that's cool. Zombie Lake, another one I've seen. That might be the worst horror movie in 1981. I'm not even over exaggerating. Always watch Happy Birthday to Me on my birthday. Really, that's cool. Search forever for the DVD. Found the Blu-ray for it. It's in my top 10 slasher films of all time. Very cool, Red Rusty. Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like sometimes when you see these titles, they bring up these memories of when you used to hunt for them, right? Like I used to hunt for these DVDs, and like it was such a fun thing to want for a movie. And that was one of them. I just always remember. I still have it. I still have the Spanish DVD over there somewhere. Happy Birthday to Me, five classic, 5 stars. Cool. Reminds me of a Jallo film. Yeah, no, it's a good one, man. It's a damn good movie. Halloween 2 is a small appearance by Dana Carvey. Yes, that's right. He's like low key my dad. Love Happy Birthday to Me. Feel is underrated. Yeah, sure. What happened to The Entity? Great creepy movie. The Entity is on here, I believe, brother Tom. Yes, it's right here. It is on here. It's right after The Burning, so we will get there. I think he went alphabetical, so anything starting with the is where T is going to be. So instead of course, The Entity should have been with the E, I think, but whatever. Um, I love creepy "Happy Birthday to Me" theme song. I made John Steele laugh. I don't know. I actually prefer Halloween 4 to Halloween 2, but Halloween 2 is great. I love Halloween 4 as well. But to me, Halloween 2 is the best. Oh boy, it's about to get Linda Blairific up in this motherfucker because it is Hell Night. Everything ain't alright. Hell Night. Hell Night. This one, I know why this falls between the cracks. I believe this was directed by Bob. Is it Bob DeSimone? Bob DeSimone directed this, and if you don't know Bob DeSimone's brother, Tom DeSimone, is in Friday the 13th Part 5. He's the guy going, Lana! Today's forecast, snow flurries up your nose. I absolutely love him. But Hell Night is an interesting one. It basically tells the story of these kids that go into this like sort of mansion, and years ago, these people died there. And I don't know. It's just this one. The kills in it are very spaced out. Hell Knight's very middle of the road for me, man. For me, it's like a C minus, man. C minus for Hell Knight. I like Linda Blair, but I think I don't know, it leaves a little bit to be desired. Play Dead with the Killer Dog. Love Hell Knight. Linda Blair never looked better. I agree with that. Well, Savage Streets. I love her in Savage Streets. The first three Halloweens are the best in my opinion. I would say the first four. Damn, just sold Hell Knight 2. Wow, John Steele, man, you are freaking selling 1981s like crazy. That was Prom Night you just sang, I think. Yes, it was. It was. Hell Night, everything ain't all right. Hell Night in my top 10 too. Wow, really? That's surprising. I've never heard anybody say that's in their top 10. But that's a cool. Hey man, that's cool. I know it has a small cult following. Halloween 4, on the other hand, that's Creepshow 3 to me. Wow, that's incredible. The house is the best part of Hell Night. I agree. Hell Night again, underrated. Okay, a lot of people like Hell Night. So Hell Night, maybe I'm ranking it to. Do y'all? You know what? Everybody, I think you guys have been a great audience tonight. So I'll bump it up. I'll bump it up for y'all. Okay, we'll go for a B. We'll bump it up one. This next one though, this next one I ain't bumping up shit because it's home sweet home. I'm on my way to fuck your bitch. Home sweet home. This stinks. This is a Thanksgiving horror movie where a bunch of fucking people sit in a fucking house and fucking jack off in a semicircle. They don't really jack off in a semicircle, but in my brain, it would have been more entertaining if they did. And nothing happens. This nothing happens. This movie, like Body by Jake plays the killer in this, and this thing is terrible, man. Like, oh my god, it is such a piece of shit horror movie. I hate Home Sweet Home. This is like an F minus. I should make its own category for Home Sweet Home because it's a piece of shit. It makes Final Exam look like Halloween. Like it's fucking bad, man. Home Sweet Home, very bad film. I got to see Hell Night. Hell Night is on Tubi. Home Sweet Home is awful. Yes, it is, Darren. It is fucking terrible. And speaking of terrible, oh boy, Holy oh Jesus, as old Jordy Verrill would say, this is Inseminoid. I don't know why it's not letting me click it. Is it so shitty it won't let me click it? Okay, it's possible. Inseminoid. This poster, oh, well, I guess Desperate Before Dawn is next anyways, but Inseminoid, it's basically this alien ripoff, and this woman gets raped by an alien, and you don't see any of it. You see a fucking tube go up her fucking snatch. She then kills people in a sort of I don't know. She picks them off one by one. She's not an alien though. She's just like an unstoppable force. And then basically at the end gives birth to this alien thing, and the Inseminoid itself is barely in the film. This is another F. I hate this fucking movie. One of the worst alien ripoffs, in my humble opinion, and a movie that nobody should fucking waste their time with. It is a piece of shit. Um, I'm sorry, my internet's like running slow all of a sudden. I don't know why. But that is Inseminoid to me, definitely a fucking terrible film. But here's a good film, a damn good slasher film. This is from 1981. This is Just Before Dawn, of course, from famed filmmaker Jeff Lieberman, who had made excellent films like Blue Sunshine before this, films like Squirm. I just adore Just Before Dawn. I think this is an excellent slow burn slasher movie. And to me, it's one that it's funny. After the opening kill, there's not a kill for another hour, and you think on paper you're like that will never work. But Just Before Dawn, man, this is an A slasher movie for me. I really like Just Before Dawn. I think it's sort of underrated. It's one of the better Friday the 13th ripoffs from that time period for me. Let's see. That Kiss looking guy looks interesting. Looking guy with the guitar. Kiss looking guy with the guitar. Oh shit! Yeah, the fucking guy in Home Sweet Home. Oh, I see. I'm confused. I was like, what? He's talking about Just Before Dawn. Oh my god, I hate Home Sweet Home. I'm thankful I haven't seen any of the F categories so far, dude. If you watch Home Sweet Home and stay awake, I would be astonished. My challenge to Grande: watch the three worst horrors in sequence from the year of your birth. So, what are the three worst horror movies of 1996? That's the question. Spent out the ads to get the collector's Blu-ray of Just Before Dawn, dude. That they fucking. I hate that they charge that much for that. That's a shame that went out of print so fast. Creepy Just Before Dawn, great look of the killers. I agree. I really like that film. I have the Canadian VHS of it over here. I love Just Before Dawn. Killer in Home Sweet Home was bodied by Jake. That's right. That's right, man. Oh, it's so bad. Coming up next, though, oh man, this is one of the best. This is a fucking phenomenal film. This is none other than Lucio Fulci's. I'm wait a minute before. Okay, this is the Beyond because I see that it's funny. I've seen this used before, but the House by the Cemetery is down here. This is the Beyond. Now this this is going to be a slightly unpopular opinion, and you're going to absolutely be confused. This is an S tier movie for me. I'll say that right off the bat. I think this is an S tier horror film. I think it's one of Fulci's best of his career. But, but, in my opinion, it's the weakest of the Gates of Hell trilogy. House by the Cemetery and City of Living Dead are better than this movie, in my opinion. I think what it is about The Beyond is the visuals. I think it's a film of visuals. It's one of Fulci's most visual films. And it is tremendous. I've always loved the scene with the blind woman in the middle of the road and the scene where the dog chews her fucking throat. I mean, it's crazy. It's a crazy ass film. Of course, the scene with the acid eating away and killing that child. I mean, it's a really batshit crazy film. I love the finale of The Beyond. It's a very just aesthetically pleasing Fulci film. I just don't think it's the best of the three, like most people. That's just me, though. I love the film, though. It is an S tier. It is a great movie. Um, Looker, not seen it. Not seen Looker. Sorry, everybody. Madhouse. Madhouse, another one from 81 that this one, again, very middle of the road movie for me. I believe this is a video nasty. This one starts off with some promise, but it very much fails to get it into another gear. This movie never shifts gears from being ordinary to extraordinary. It's just an ordinary slasher for me. For me, Madhouse, it's a C. Let's see. I like that challenge, John Steele. The Beyond becomes laggy in some scenes, a bit slow. Yeah, I love the film. Don't get me wrong. I just like everybody's always like, oh, the Beyond, the Beyond, the Beyond. I'm like, House by the Cemetery. It's one of those things like I'm almost jealous of the fan base it has. I wish people would and gushed about House by the Cemetery that way. But it is a great movie, and it's very much worth the price of admission. Madhouse is pretty bad in my opinion. Yeah, no, Madhouse is one of those films I've seen it once and it's not memorable. It started out okay, like the first half hour I was on board with it, and then I just sort of gave up on it. But this next one, My Bloody Valentine. Yes, My Bloody fucking Valentine. It's just past Valentine's Day as well. I mean, can we give it anything other than an S? Harry Warden, the song on a Valentine's Day. Love, I mean, amazing. I love it. That's a great film. I don't really have to go into that. To me, a top 10 slasher movie of all time. Here's one that's not a top 10 slasher movie of all time. Night School. Generic. There's the only word to describe this film is fucking generic. Night School is generic fucking schlock. I don't care for this movie. It's basically this film where these women they attend this night class and one by one they're being picked off and they're all decapitated, which I just thought it really ruined variety of kills in the film. Not a terrible idea, very similar to a graduation day, with the whole picking people off thing in a school or a class. I just think this one is very generic. To me, Night School, a D. Very, very boring, dull, generic film. Let's see. I don't think I have seen this Madhouse, but love the one with Vincent Price. Okay. Yes, heavy metal, American pop, rock and roll, best animated movies to me. My Bloody Valentine classic, top 10 of all time. Night School I enjoy. I get why people don't like it. Okay. I like Night School, and it was surprised on who the killer was the first time I saw it. To me, man, I don't know. I didn't care for Night School. There was no variety in that film. Was coming to say that. John Steele. Oh shit. Okay. Um, Next up, The Omen Part 3. Now I'm not political in any way, shape, or form. I don't have a dog in the fight, but it is amazing when you think of politics and you look at look at Sam Neill's haircut in this, and he becomes the president of the United States, and the whole satire of only the United States of America could elect the devil the president of the United States. It's fucking wild. This movie is sort of like Simpsons esque in what it predicted and stuff like that. And I know, obviously Donald Trump, he's hated and people say he is the devil and stuff like that. I don't have an opinion one way or the other. Like I said, I'm not political. This is not about politics. But it is funny to me the hairdo and the whole idea that he become the president. And I don't know, man. To me, it's just sort of wild. It's the thing I always sort of realize with this movie. The Final Contact, though, it's a big step down from Damien the Omen 2 and the first film for that matter. In my humble opinion, it's a pretty poor film. I'm going to say a D. Sam Neill does the best he can, but it's a poor sequel. It's one of the weakest Omen films. It's not as bad as Omen 4 with Damien's daughter, though. Oh man, James Cameron's going to crack the list. Piranha 2 The Spawning. Flying Piranhas, ladies and gentlemen. This is an F. This is a bad film. James Cameron's worst film. He thankfully went on to make some better films. A couple years later, one called The Terminator. We'll just leave it at that. Let's see. I love Omen 3. I'll take bullets, but I do. Wow, really? I don't like Omen 3. Um, Manchurian candidate type ish. All politics are devilish. Enough said. I agree, man. I just can't. I cannot stand politics. And and on a side note, and I don't mean to bash anyone who's my age, but I feel like kids my age, they're so fucking into it. And I'm like, no offense, man, but like you all barely started paying taxes. Like, I don't know. I hate to listen to people that think they know everything, especially with that. I'm just like, you know what? Treat people how you want to be treated. Let's leave politics out of things. Um, Big step down from Damien. Yes, Damien Omen 2 is my favorite of the franchise. I love Damien Omen 2. I think it's a phenomenal horror film. Of course, 1978, which is another great year in horror history. Um, Coming up next, though, Possession. A lot of people are going to be shocked by this. A lot of people aren't going to agree with this, but I think this is also in conversation for the best horror film of the year 1981. An easy S tier for me. Isabelle Adjani's performance is right up there with my favorites in the history of the genre. Right up there with Angela Bettis's performance in May. I adore Possession. I've done a whole episode on it. Of course, Video Nasty Special #1. It's one of my highest viewed videos. It's like 3,000 views, where I talk about it and I spit on your grave. I adore it. I don't really want to go too far into it, but I think Possession is arguably the best horror film of the year 1981. It is tremendous. The horrors of a breakup and the horrors of feeling that you were overly possessed by someone else. I just adore the film. I really do. I think it's horror done right. The subway scene. If you've seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. Isabelle Adjani's performance is haunting. It's truly haunting. It's a fantastic film. To me, one that everybody needs to see, and one I won't spoil here. To me, Possession, one of the great horror films of the year 1981. Road Games, Stacy Keach and Jamie Lee. She didn't show her breasts until or she didn't show her yits until she went legit. That was it. Road Games. I'll be honest. I've seen the film once. I can't really give it a fair score. I saw it so long ago. I will say just a C. I don't remember Road Games. I barely remember Road Games. The next one, Roar. I've never fucking heard of this. I think it's a Killer Lion film. I've never heard of Roar. I don't know. But that I believe is the last one I haven't seen. The rest of these I believe I've seen them all. Saturday the 14th. Very, very poor film. See, when you hear that title, you think, okay, a spoof on a Friday the 13th film. No, they go more cheesy, gothic spoof, and the plot is overly complicated for a movie like this. I do not like Saturday the 14th. I see that it's garnered some sort of a cult following. Um, I just don't really care for Saturday the 14th, though. I will say a D for me. It's not quite an F, but it's a bad film. Um, I forgot who mentioned it before, but Scanners was on here. I don't know why. I thought it wasn't on here. Scanners, I love. To me, it's David Cronenberg. It's classic Cronenberg. To me, it gets an A just based on the head explosion scene alone. The film can be a little boring at times, and that's coming from somebody who I have pretty good patience. The film is a little boring. It takes a little while to get going, but once it does, it's classic Cronenberg. I mean, made right around the time of The Brood and Rabid and Videodrome. I mean, so many wonderful films that guy did. Scanners is a great film to me. Let's see. I didn't really like Road Games' crazy ending, though. John Steele saying very Lovecraftian. I wonder, I should have check out Blood Beach, James Moss. No, don't. Buy the poster before you do that. One day I will hug a lion. Just be careful when you do. I think I saw this at the show too. Really? Wow. I sold it. John Steele, your sales are going through the roof, man. Um, Scared to Death, a William Malone joint. I believe one of his first films. Gotta be his first film. Um, from what I remember from this movie, it's very low budget. William Malone had nothing to work with, but I actually sort of like William Malone, and I think he went on to do better things. I always really liked the House on Haunted Hill remake. I liked his episode of Masters of Horror. I think I believe he made a space horror film right after this. I believe, and it just got a release of Vinegar Syndrome. I believe I can't think of the damn name of it though. Scared to Death to me, it's one that it's hurt by its budget. So yeah, I would probably write with Galaxy of Terror. It's one that it would be better with more money. Strange Behavior. Actually, I lied. I've not seen Strange Behavior either, so that will have to stay in this category. I believe the rest of these I've fucking seen. I'm just gonna double check. Yes, okay. The rest of these I promise you I've seen. Let's see. Saw Scanners the show, definitely not as good as I remember. Yeah, no, it's not as good as Videodrome or Rabid, but it's certainly I think it's a passable film. Student Bodies, yes. See, this is a horror slasher parody that I actually quite like. Of course, I adore the poster, which Jennifer's Body ripped off. Any Jennifer's Body fans out there? I this one it has the breather, of course, is the killer in this, and it's very I don't know. This one it's a weird little film, but I don't know. I always found the sense of humor and it's sort of funny, and the whole like breathing like crazy at the front door. It's spoofing Halloween and Friday 13th and all of these movies. It also has a very batshit ending. It has a prom scene, similar vein to Prom Night. To me, Student Bodies has an excellent sense of humor. To me, it's a very good horror spoof. To me, a horror spoof done right. And it's funny, spoof a slasher in the year of the slasher. I like Student Bodies. To me, a very fun little movie. Let's see. I've seen some of these, but there are a lot I haven't seen on this list. Before all the other parodies, exactly, John Steele. See, to me, it's a good version of what Saturday the 14th should have been. Saturday the 14th doesn't approach it from a slasher standpoint, and I think it suffers from that. Why would you call your film Saturday the 14th thinking it's going to be a Friday slasher parody and it's not? To me, that's poor. Student Bodies is really funny. I agree, Darren. I think it's a funny ass movie too. How about a little creature feature though, everybody? The Boogans. The Boogans. This one tells the story of these two brothers, and they go to work for this like mining not a factory, but it's like a mine, and slowly but surely they come across the Boogans, which are these like tentacle creatures that live there. And I don't know, man. This one, it's okay, and it's well directed. Like the director does some great things with the mines and creating an atmosphere. But I do think this is one of those films where you don't see enough of the creature, and it hurts it a little bit because to me, there's sometimes where you want to show less. There's sometimes where you want to show more. The Boogans is one of those films where I wish they showed a little bit more of the creatures, and to me that knocks it down a peg. Because with if it had great creature effects and showed the creatures and there were a little bit more of a body count, maybe the Boogans would be that much better. To me though, to me it's another middle of the road movie, like a C plus. The Boogans. I think it's a decent enough creature feature. Let's see. Free your mind, Kara Eldra. My favorite scene in Scanners is when the villain Daryl used the power to kill the guy at the beginning of the film. Dude, yeah, no. Scanners is tremendous film. Up next, geez, one of the great slasher movies of all time. I don't know where Red Rusty is, but this one's in my top 10. The Burning, Tony May Lamb's film. Just a tremendous little movie. I love The Burning. Again, another one I've gone on about. I've done a whole episode on it. I don't know how much. The rat scene, Tom Savini's special makeup effects, just a young Fisher Stevens, Leia Aries, a young George Costanza, of course, Jason Alexander with hair. God bless her mom and dad. I mean, I love The Burning. I think it's a great movie. To me, uh, I always really like The Legend of Cropsey. And to me, it's one of the great slasher movies of all time. I would say a top 10 slasher for me. I know some people lately have told me they think it's overrated. I completely disagree. I think The Burning is deserving of every bit of the praise it gets. Coming up next, though, it is The Entity. Yes, I believe Tom was asking about this one before. So, Tom, I don't know if you're still here, but we're on The Entity. This is a tremendous movie, in my opinion. The acting from the lead, I believe, is Barbara Hershey. Barbara Hershey's the lead in this. She does a tremendous job. I love her performance in this. To me, and it's funny, I had seen Insidious, which she's also in. And then somebody mentioned they were like, oh, 30 years ago she did this movie called The Entity, and it's another horror film. And I was like, oh, let me check it out. I like this actress. And when I watched it, I was like, wow, like this is a tremendous flick. So The Entity, I would say it's going to go in the A category. I really like The Entity. I think it's a pretty damn good film. I'm back! Holy shit, I'm back! I made it! Yeah, yeah. 1981, motherfuckers! I'm back! Oh, anything! He's the man behind the mask. Okay, my Wi-Fi stinks. All right, I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. I'm just gonna be honest. I am scared to do the screen share again. Yeah, somebody did do that, Tom. There's evil speak on this fucking computer, man. Clint Howard, man. This is like, what the fuck? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take that router and I'm gonna shine it up real nice. And I'm gonna turn that son of a bitch sideways and stick it straight up somebody's candy ass. If you smell what the granny's cooking. All right. Um, where the fuck was I? I don't remember. I was in the House by the Cemetery, which is one of my favorite horror films in 1981. So that's where we were. Um, I this has been such a crazy stream. I'm scared to share it again because I'm afraid my Wi-Fi is gonna crash. I don't know what to do. I guess we gotta go for it, right? We were right at the end. We were right at the end, so we're gonna try to screen share. If this fucking works, you have to just laugh at this. This has just been fucking a nightmare. Like, of course my internet crashed. Like, of course it fucking did. Darren was like, "Bro, I wish it was my." I was like, "Yo, I fucking wish it was yours too." To be perfectly honest with you. Now watch. If this crashed though, the whole thing will be gone. Theoretically, if my Wi-Fi crashed, this tab where I listed everything for the past 2 hours, it's gonna be gone. Oh my god! Please don't let it be gone. It's there. Holy shit. Okay, okay. Let's get this over with. So, House by the Cemeteries S. I love it. The Howling, very underrated movie in my opinion. It's overshadowed a little bit by American Wolf in London. Howling would be B plus or an A. Definitely a B plus or an A for me. I don't know. Again, it's not running the greatest, so I don't know. Let's pull up the comments though. So let's make sure I got the comments here before we keep going. This has been a fucking. This has been the absolute. The audio's gone. What the fuck? Y'all can't hear me. Why can't you hear me? Oh my god, this is maddening. This is like the audio's gone. Okay, I don't know. Just kidding? Yo, Mateo, you scared me for a minute, dude. You scared me. Yo, I was about to like fucking jump off a bridge, yo. Um, I still might. So let me go back to this because this is just like, oh my god, that was good troll because I believed you. Because it's like everything that's went wrong has gone wrong. The Monster Club. Okay, the Monster Club. Well, I got to move the Howling out of D. Hold on. So let's. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I thank you guys mean the world to me for sticking with me through this because this is like absolutely crazy. James Moss is like, "Are you okay?" No, I'm not. Um. Okay, it's not like it's all delayed when I try to click things. So I don't know. I guess we could just fucking go one by one here, because this is my internet just did not want to work today. Monster Club would probably be like a B. I enjoy it. It's got Vincent Price, all the old school guys in it. The Nesting, below average slasher, like a D. The Pit, very underrated movie, really cool one. This kid's getting bullied, and basically he finds this creature in a pit and it starts to take care of the people that are bullying him. The Pit's a damn good movie. I would say the Pit is like B plus. The Prowler, excellent special makeup effects from Tom Savini, but the film itself, the story, all that, sort of and then Venom, honestly I don't remember. Wolfen is very overshadowed by The Howling and An American Werewolf in London, but it's not a bad film. It's actually shot in New York City, and it has some good cinematography shots in it. I believe the director was like a career-long cinematographer, so it was one of those things where uh, the film has a good look to it, but at the end of the day, it's one of those where it's like it came out the same year as two of the big heavyweights of werewolf horror films, and it's just one of those things where it sort of fell by the wayside. It's sort of forgotten and overshadowed. But it's not a bad movie. It's a damn good movie. I think it's like 2 hours long, so it's a little bit long, but it's a damn good movie. Love you, Grande. Just thank you, Mateo. I appreciate it. No, I think that is a fun joke. It is a good taste. No one is talking about Faces of Death too. Was that 81? I'm not sure. Wolfen is just phenomenal, so unique. I actually, in New York City, they have um, a museum of the moving image, and in there they have one of the wolves used from Wolfen. It's really cool. I took a picture with it, but it's funny with Wolfen. It's not remembered, I think, also because it's not a werewolf film with a transformation scene. Of course, The Howling has one, American Werewolf in London has one. Wolfen doesn't, though. It is a very visually appealing film. It's just a little long in the tooth. 2 hours for a werewolf film, no. And then if on the same page, you could watch a movie from the same year, American Werewolf in London, which has a tremendous pace, and it's just quick and it's funny and it's witty. So that's why I think that gets overshadowed. But as for like my top five, we'll do top five and then we'll do a worst, like the worst movie of 81, because it won't let me click these anymore. I swear to you that's happened. Top five would be Evil Dead, Possession, American Werewolf in London. Wow. After this, it's tough. House by the Cemetery, Halloween 2. That would probably be my top five from 1981. All great films. It's hard to leave Friday the 13th Part 2 off of there, but I think I have to. Friday the 13th Part 2 would be number six. And then a worst. Wow. I believe Home Sweet Home was 1980. So I don't think I can give it to Home Sweet Home. Although of these movies, it might be the worst. There's a slasher movie called Scream from 1981. That may be the worst horror movie from the year 1981. Also, I believe John Russo's Midnight came out the year 1981. So maybe that one, maybe that would be the worst of 1981. I'm not sure, but I don't know. This has been such a wild show. It's just crazy, but I don't know. Was before we go, guys? You give me your top five and your worst of 1981. That would be fun. And I apologize for all the technical difficulties tonight. I'm going to try to edit this. If anybody is good with editing, please let me know because I would absolutely love to fix this show because I think it could be fixed. It's just got to be edited down a little bit. So I mean that is what it is. But this was fun. I enjoyed this. And if my internet was working, and my microphone malfunctioned, man. I mean, who would have thought that? Just wild. But I don't know. John Steel City won't ever look that way again. Yeah, no, it won't. That's the beauty of the aesthetic of it's like the lower side of the Bronx. A lot of Wolfen. 1981 TV horror show Dark Room should never have been canceled in the first place. Oh, Darren Burroughs, Zombie Lake. Yeah, Zombie Lake might be it. So it wasn't on here. Neither was Scream, and neither was John Russo's Midnight. But those three are right up there. Home Sweet Home 2. If Home Sweet Home is 81, yes, Home Sweet Home is there. My top three would be Friday the 13th Part 2, Evil Dead 2. I'm sorry, Evil Dead, then Halloween 2. Okay, so those are great picks. Yeah, so you really can't go wrong with a lot of the ones I had in the S tier. You really can't go wrong with it. It's hard. It's like how do I disinclude Friday the 13th Part 2 from the top five? But you can. Funhouse, My Bloody Valentine, and American Werewolf in London, Halloween 2, and The Evil Dead are my top five. Those are excellent choices, my friend. I don't think no bad choice on that list, man. Yeah, it's funny. Like Possession, that's probably the one that I think is the most underrated of all of these movies from that year because it's so few people have seen it, and when they do, they're like, wow. Although my buddy Don Nice, he hated Possession. I remember. Darren says great top fives. Trenchy says don't. Damn, I don't even know if I could do a top five. Would have to think about it. It's tough. I mean, that year for film for horror films was tremendous. And to me, it's the three great years. It's 78, 81, 85. Those are the three best years in horror history, in my opinion, like single years. Halloween 2 is the true sequel. Change my mind, everybody. Nope, nobody should change your mind. I'm not the greatest editor, but I could try if you want. Hey, man, you have my absolute fucking blessing to do so. Choose Trench, choose to form the Destructor. Thanks. Okay, so we got some people saying their top fives, but yeah, no, this I'd like to do this down the road for 1985. That is a year I'd like to do as well, and maybe even 78 because 78 had a lot of good ones too. Dawn of the Dead, Halloween, Damien the Omen 2, Devil Dog, Hound of Hell, lesser known, talked about one. But I don't know. I think this would be fun to do for some different years in the horror genre. But I also, I thought it was cool to do this one because it is remembered for being the year of the slasher, but we talked about three different werewolf films. We talked about some psychological, some paranormal, some creature features. We talked about a bunch. Friday 13th Part 2, My Bloody Valentine, Happy Birthday to Me, The Burning, Just Before Dawn. Wow, so a lot of all slashers. Okay, very cool, man. Very cool, Red Rusty. Miss Carter, Happy Birthday to Me, Funhouse, Hell Night, Halloween 2, Friday 13th Part 3. Excellent, excellent. Halloween 2, The Burning, The Howling. Excellent list, man. Excellent, absolutely excellent. Faces of Death is on Tubi. Um, I think this is a great year. I really do. I don't know if you guys would agree that it's the best year, but it certainly was fun to do without the technical difficulties. So, but yeah, no, that is neither here nor there. Trenchy, I'll email you, man. If you could edit this and make it work, I would love you forever. But I guess we are going to call it a show there because that's basically everything, and I'm fucking scared to click anything else. Um, but everybody, I want to say thank you so much for joining and sticking with me. Of course, as always, I apologize. I'll tell you what, though, I'm going to try to get a new router because this just can't keep happening. I mean, we played with fire long enough, and my dumb ass is going to end up getting burned like a fucking whopper. So I don't want any fucking whopper birds, man. Darren, happy to catch you live, mate. Darren, thank you so much. You were here the whole time, man. Thank you so much. 1985, dope year for horror. Would be cool. That would be cool. Fun times, man. Absolutely, guys. Thank you so much. Stay beautiful. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. We will catch you next time only on the Graveyard. Too Sweet Peace. And we'll catch you next time, technical difficulties permitting. I love you guys. Be good. Now will let me end the stream? That's the question. Did it let me end the stream? Am I still on the fucking live? Is this fucking it won't even let me end the stream. Let me end this in peace.